promises which, according to him, has not been fulfilled. Tonight, we'll be dissecting the president's performance, especially the major agenda of fixing insecurity in Nigeria and the economy issues, and of course, fighting corruption, which Mr. Omokri says is far from doing so. And of course, we will get some response from the APC. Well, Mr. Reno Omokri, lawyer and author, he joins me now from London. Thank you so much, Mr. Omokri, for your time tonight on the program. Let me begin with you, Mr. Omokri. On a day like this, you raised some very, very strong accusation against this government. First and foremost, on the issues of anti-corruption, you said that corruption is not being fought in this government, rather that corruption is going on in this government. What are your claims, and what do you have evidence of those claims?
Well, I don't have claims. I deal in facts. I don't deal in claims. Now, you talked about Rahman Abbas. Now, let's look at it. Now, our youth in Nigeria, they're actually mirroring what they're seeing with our leaders. General Muhammadu Buhari, on January 31st, 2019, went to Kano, lifted up the hand of Umar Ganduje, and asked the people of Kano to vote for him. Now, Umar Ganduje, this was a man caught on video receiving bribes in dollars, stuffing them in his clothes. And then you're raising this man's hands and you're asking the people, the youths, to vote for him. In other words, you're telling them, vote for crime. You can imagine that. Babachir Lawal, the former secretary to the government of the Federation, was caught red-handed with his hand in the kitty. He was a thief, caught red-handed. And then this man gave an interview to Punch and said that he still visits Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa. As a matter of fact, he was given a role in Muhammadu Buhari's re-election campaign. Nasir Danu, a member of the president's inner cabinet, in a kitchen cabinet, he was arrested November last year at Heathrow Airport in London with a fake passport, with huge sums of money undeclared. He was arrested and then deported to Nigeria. The next thing we saw, pictures of Nasir Danu and Muhammadu Buhari shaking hands. Look at it, and on the eve of the last presidential elections, we saw William Vance going into the home of Bola Tinubu, a leader of the APC. This is in a country that is known for vote buying. Now, William Vance going into the home of a national leader, and nothing was done to him. EFCC did not investigate him, he was not arrested, he was not. So what you are seeing is that corruption is so brazen. And Chinua Achebe said in his book, Arrow of God, that when a child is asked to go and steal by his father, he does not go stealthily. He walks boldly and breaks into the door. And that's what you've seen with Abbas or Hush Puppy. He has seen his leaders portray corruption as something that you can vote for, something that can visit you at the presidential villa, somebody that is, you can call somebody your national leader, and yet you have this kind of behavior. And so he is exhibiting what he's seen. That's why he was flaunting his corruption on social media. Look, we have a situation whereby we are facing the worst economic crisis of our national life. Yes, this president budgeted 37 billion naira to renovate the National Assembly, a building that was built in total for 6 billion naira. A president in this midst of this monumental economic crisis budgeted $500 million to renovate NTA. NTA, I spoke to a former director general of NTA, I can name his name if you want me to, and he said NTA is worth $50 million. How can you budget $500 million to renovate a station that is worth $50 million? SABC, South African Broadcasting Corporation, the biggest broadcasting corporation in Africa, is worth only $200 million. Now, just yesterday, Serap sued this government. It was in the papers. They sued them on Friday, but it came on the papers yesterday. In 2017, the Auditor General of this government, now this is not an activist, the Auditor General of the Federation came out and said 300 billion naira has either been stolen or misappropriated in Nigeria under Buhari. Now, in 2017, that means he had just been 2 years in office. You can imagine how much has been stolen now. What I'm trying to say is that this administration is not giving our youth a good example. The examples that you're showing are, look, 2015, May 29, when former President Goodluck Jonathan handed over to Muhammadu Buhari, Nigeria's total debt was 11 trillion. As I speak to you right now, Nigeria's total debt is 28.63 trillion. It is multiplied by 3. Our foreign debt, 2015, was $7 billion. As I speak to you right now, it is $29 billion. And this man says he wants to borrow $22.7 billion more. And what are you doing with the money? You're not building schools. You're not building hospitals. You budgeted 11 billion for Aso Rock Presidential Clinic. That clinic could not treat the chief of staff to the president when he had COVID-19. Where has that money been going?
Mr.
So
Mr. Omokri, when you
Yeah.
raise the issue of hush puppy, and perhaps what birthed this conversation is the allegations or the criticism coming from the APC that some leaders of the PDP are seen in pictures with this man that has since been arrested and taken to the United States. Are you in some way saying that there is a justification for hush puppies' alleged behavior or suspected frauds?
Hush Puppy is a criminal. He is facing the law and he should be sent to jail and then the key thrown away. But let's look at the issues. Let's not look at shadows. The picture, Atiku Abubakar was at an event where it was packed full of Nigerians. And one of the people there was this young man. And at that time, nothing was known about the young man's criminality. He was just thought to be an influencer. And he came and took a picture. Atiku Abubakar is probably the most popular Nigerian today. And if a Nigerian comes up to him and says he wants to take a picture, of course he will take a picture with him. Now, compare that to Muhammadu Buhari. Nasiru Danu was photographed with Muhammadu Buhari after he had been exposed by the British as somebody who is a money launderer, somebody who is a fake passport, arrested at Heathrow, deported back to Nigeria. Now, this is after. And then Muhammadu Buhari was photographed with him, taking the picture with him. Babachir Lawal, after he was exposed as a thief, his hand caught in the kitty. General Muhammadu Buhari
in the case of Mr. Babachir Lawal, Mr. Omokri, in the case of Mr. Babachir Lawal, this is a case that is in court. I would like, since you're a lawyer, the use of language because it's a suspect because the case is in court. You can continue, please.
Well, I have a master's degree in law. I schooled in England. I work in the British Parliament. You're wrong there. It is a proven fact that Babachir Lawal, if you look at the pleadings by the EFCC and if you look at his own response, he has not denied that fact. So it is a proven case that Babachir Lawal is a thief, and I will repeat it, he's a thief. Now, going further, let's talk about Umar Ganduje.
No, but in Nigeria here, perhaps, apologies, Mr. Omokri, in Nigeria here, you're probably practicing law outside of the country. In Nigeria here, what obtains is that you cannot call someone a thief when the case is still in court. It's still been taken up in court. So you cannot, the court has not called him a thief just yet. So the case is in court. That's why I'm advising you, and you're on the national TV. Okay, so I'm advising you on the use of language. Those are your words anyways.
Babachir Lawal, he's to take me to court, and he will be disgraced if he tries that. But let's go on further. Umar Ganduje was caught on camera. And then you went on the 31st of January 2019 and you held up his hands. Now, are you going to say that because he has not been charged to court, you can go to him? So this is hypocrisy of the highest level by the APC. The APC should address General Muhammadu Buhari's romance with corruption. That's what we are talking about. Look at the National Health Insurance Scheme. The man that was there, when Muhammadu Buhari went to London for his treatment, the acting president, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo removed that man. General Muhammadu Buhari came back and reinstated the man. Eventually, after much pressure by people like myself and others, the man was removed from office. Has he been charged? Let me ask you a question, Shehu. The Ikoyi apartment billions, it was investigated 3 years ago. How come Nigerians do not yet still know who owns the Ikoyi apartment billions? The governor of Rivers State, Wike, said that the money is owned by a former governor of Rivers State who happens to be a member of the cabinet of Muhammadu Buhari. Now, we don't know if it's true or not, but that's what he alleges. How come they have done an investigation and they cannot tell Nigerians who owns that money? If that money had been owned by a PDP-linked person or an opposition-linked person, it would have taken them 2 seconds to say who owned that money. So these are what we are seeing.
Mr. Omokri, let me quickly ask you. If you're talking about corruption under this government, for example, about 871 billion looted funds are said to have been recovered, 407 mansions just in 3 years. For you, you think corruption is not being fought based on some of the facts on the table?
Well, let me just put it there. You said they claimed. Now, that's a claim. Now, if you read the letter that was written first by the former Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, she actually contradicted that and said that the man there, Magu, had been playing to the gallery, that the figures that he said he had collected were not the same as the amount of the central bank. And if you recall, just a week ago, the current Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, had written a letter saying that the man himself, Magu, is corrupt. Now, let's keep that alone. Let's keep Nigeria. Let's look at there is internationally the authority to adjudicate on who is corrupt and who is not corrupt. That's Transparency International. Now, Transparency International said Nigeria is more corrupt today than at any time under former President Jonathan or former President Yar'Adua or former President Olusegun Obasanjo. As a matter of fact, we made our best improvement on the Corruption Perception Index in 2014 when we moved 12 space forward and we became 136. Now, under Muhammadu Buhari, we went 12 places backward and we went to 148. Now we are back at 144. So even corruption, even the international community is seeing this. So it's not something that I'm making up.
Mr. Omokri, yeah. So if you would rate this government in the last 5 years compared to the Goodluck Jonathan or the PDP government in that same amount of time, how would you rate this government in performance? Because the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, whom you work closely with, spent 5 years. This government has spent 5 years also, the APC government. How would you compare?
Well, I'm going to put it this way. Now, look at this now. In the MTEF, that's the medium-term expenditure framework of the first quarter that was just recently released, it shows that now Nigeria's debt to revenue ratio is 90%. That means we are spending 90% of our revenue on debt servicing. Now, that's to show you the amount of debt that this administration has plunged us to. Now, when you compare this administration with former President Jonathan's government or Yar'Adua's government, yes, there was some corruption there. It's a human government. But the difference between that government and this government is that under Jonathan, there was corruption. In this administration, corruption is official. So you had a situation whereby under Jonathan, there were corrupt officials. But in this administration, corruption was official. Under Jonathan made some mistakes. In this administration, Muhammadu Buhari is himself a mistake. All right,
Mr. Omokri, because of our time, we have to leave it at that. Thank you so much, Mr. Reno Omokri, lawyer and author, a former aide to former President Goodluck Jonathan. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
You're very welcome. God bless you.
Thank you. So let's get some other perspective to this one, perhaps one that is not in agreement.